to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jesse Martin.
You want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Joe Theismann.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your majesty.
And now here's your host, Jesse Martin.
What is going on? Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. It is Monday, August 23rd, and we're back again, man. I think we're missing somebody though. He just
feels like we're off a stool leg or something.
But he just texted me. He said he'll be in there in a second.
Aha.
He's coming. He lied to us. I am here as always with my co-host Joe Theismann. John, how you doing?
I am on time. I would like to make that perfectly clear. I'm doing good, man. I'll tell you what, I'm feeling pretty good about the roster right now. I'm feeling really good about the roster. Right now.
That's good because some people are freaking out about the roster, the offense, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But I was listening. I was listening.
People freaking out. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I was listening to the radio today. Actually, it was on the way home, and some callers on the B. Mitch and Finley show. One of them in particular said that he's extremely worried about the play calling, and I'm just sitting there thinking, like, isn't it fucking preseason? Mm-hmm. I mean, why should we even be worried about the play calling whatsoever in preseason? You want it vanilla as possible because you do not want to give the Chargers any extra, anything to think about.
Nothing. Yeah. Anybody, anything. Show no tendencies, show nothing. Not only that, but, a lot of times, see, this is what kills me about, I hope other fan bases are this dumb because sometimes ours really, really can be embarrassing. It's like the first thing you learn about preseason football is that no, they might actually call a play to see what a certain player is going to do or to get into a situation. They don't call plays in any way, shape, or form like they will in the regular season. Man, that streak where we've seen all the video of Fitzpatrick missing Terry streaking up the seam, right?
Yeah,
right. So he missed it.
Yeah, he missed it. Every quarterback misses that from time to time,
But what they don't get is in a real game within the next quarter, they will exploit that because man, they motioned Gibson out and that whole thing popped free. The Bengals were. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but they got lucky that didn't go all the way on them. That's for sure.
Yeah. So it's definitely we definitely should pump the brakes a little bit on being worried about play calling. And we want to welcome our other co-host Keith. He made it. Hey. How you doing, Keith?
What's going on, guys? How's everyone doing?
Doing great.
Everybody's good.
Great. How's your weekend?
Not too bad.
It sounded like you were getting some construction done when I called you a few minutes ago.
Yeah, there was a lot going on, man. There's still stuff going on in the house, a little here and there, and then just trying to, I guess get ready for Cars football practice. That going 4 days a week, that's a lot too. So just a lot going on.
You got practice today? I thought you did it on Tuesday.
No, we got practice Monday through Thursday.
Okay. Gotcha. Before we get into last week's game, we had a release today, and it was Steven Sims got cut. I think we all saw that coming, or at least we should have all seen that coming. Were you guys surprised in any way? Keith,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And if anybody was surprised at that, they're absolutely crazy. I mean, listen, it was all written in this last preseason game. I mean, that drop tells you everything. It's just time to be done. That project is over. Finito. Goodbye.
Yeah, good luck to him. And John, you have any other thoughts on that?
For one, I think you're 100% right. You could tell this time he got no run with the ones or the twos, which last week he did. That one pass that he alligator armed it, he was terrified. He was freaking shaking in his shoes and pulled his arms back in on that play. They gave him no punt returns at all, and his kickoff return was weak. So yeah, it's not surprising. What is kind of surprising and also not surprising at the same time is how our fans just stick to this guy and stick to these underdogs that they flash for a little while and everybody thinks, okay, he'll be able to do that forever. And then after over a year now, seeing inconsistent play out of him. No, he's not. He's getting outplayed in every aspect of the game, and everything that he does for what the team is. There's somebody that's doing it better. As a wide receiver, I think AGG's ahead of him.
Well, and that's the thing too, is he'll have flashes and he'll give you great plays and he'll make you think, oh, maybe we have something here. Maybe we do have something. But then you have the opposite side effect of that.
Yep.
And it just goes to prove with this receiving core, he was on his last life. I mean, it's crowded, there. So you have to really put yourself ahead, of the pack in order to be seen. And these one or two great plays here or there. Oh, I said pack, didn't I?
You did. He did.
Oh, jeez.
The ambassador just told y'all it's the Wolves.
No, I did not. No. Absolutely.
Anybody with any complaints, contact Keith. He's your fan ambassador.
I'm done. I'm done with my comment.
All right. I'm just teasing.
No, all right. Yeah, we saw this coming. I mean, I agree with John when he said people they attach themselves to these players and the underdogs, and you pull for them in a way, but it just goes to show that our receiver room now. I mean, just look at 2 years ago. We had Terry McLaurin, which was a rookie. We had he wound up being our wide receiver one, and then we had a 6th round pick in Kelvin Harmon, and then an undrafted free agent in Steven Simmons. That was your starting wide receivers.
Last year, dude, we only had AGG and Terry were the only 2 receivers we had all year that were drafted. Everybody else was undrafted. Now, including that bum Foster that they brought in.
Now things have changed, and it's just this is no room, and Keith's right about the inconsistencies of the matter. But moving on, we had a game, and we actually won, and there's a lot to kind of unpack in this game. Keith, I'll start with you. What was your overall takeaway of the win against the Bengals?
We need to see more out of our ones. We need to see some scoring. I'm not worried about our defense. I think our defense still looks pretty good out there. I think that one call, where they called
that flag. I think that was ridiculous. Yeah, I'm right.
Yeah, they're going to call that though. They're going to call that no matter what.
I think they have to. If they're going to call it on the defense, they have to call it on the offensive too. And if anything, I think that was an offensive penalty because it was the receiver that actually led with the crown of his helmet instead of vice versa.
There has to be some sort of reasonable expectation that if the receiver puts his head down where his knee should be, where is the defensive guy supposed to go? The receiver's dropping his head 2 feet from where it's supposed to be. Yeah. So I thought it was not a good call, but they're gonna call that all the time.
Yeah. Go ahead, Keith. Finish up.
Yeah, but as far as seeing more production out of the ones, you're not seeing anything exciting at the moment. Not to say that there won't be. It seems like Fitzpatrick still needs to get in touch with some of his receivers, be a little bit more on sync. But did I think he was, he played horrible? No, I think that, 96 yards in the first quarter, is a pretty good start.
Yeah, he moved the ball.
Now, I mean, granted, how many yards after catch was that, that he threw, those passes, but, at the end of the day, that's what he's going to get you is he's going to get you those yards. It's just really moving the ball and making sure that you're capitalizing. I don't know about you or anyone else, but I'm sick of Dustin Hopkins field goals. You can't even rely on him to begin with. And even though he went, 3 for 3? Or was it 2 for 2? Yeah, 2 for 2. What was the final score? 17-13?
Yeah, he got an extra point too.
Yeah, so I mean, I just need to see excitement. And I know that you're not going to get a ton of that in preseason, and I get that. But I think that we fans need to see more in order to roll into week one like, we've got this under control.
John?
I'm not panicking in that regard. I tell you what, I did see some exciting things. I saw a beautiful back shoulder fade to Diami Brown that I thought really showed off a lot of what kind of weapon we've got in that guy. The first play of the game, I'll tell you what, Thomas caught that little short route and then took it like 30 yards. Okay. But the play fake had the entire Bengals defense. I mean, the whole fucking Bengals defense went to the other side, and one safety in the back went, oh, fuck, look over there, and had to chase him down. So, I mean, we did see some excitement. I think most of the discord is coming between Fitzpatrick and Humphreys, who I haven't seen jack shit out of yet. They keep saying, oh, they're not in sync yet. Well, I don't even think they're even looking at the same playbook. Humphreys doesn't seem to have that chemistry that they keep talking about. He's zigging when he should zag. He's not going where Fitzpatrick is leading him. I thought the receivers started to separate themselves really well. Cam Sims, I think, should be on the goddamn bubble. I know everybody loves their underdogs, but man, you can't keep fumbling. This dude trades good play for bad play.
I'm with you on that.
This is his fourth year. Inconsistent is the best way you can describe him, and I just think that's not good enough.
On that point, just real quick, John, sorry to interrupt, but I think ahead. Now it's AGG and Cam Sims fighting for a roster spot.
I agree. Carter's got one. I think so.
Because they're two of the same type of players in my eyes. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Well, that's fine. That's what I had. Go ahead. Your turn.
Yeah. No. I know a lot of people. I listen to sport. I was listening to sports talk radio about play calling, and you want to see more exciting plays. And we got to pump. I think we should pump the brakes on that a little bit, just because it's vanilla. It's preseason. They're not going to show their hands. I am not worried about not scoring. Listen, Fitzpatrick and what amounts to a half of football. He's basically played, 2 quarters of football. He's thrown for 150 some yards and no interceptions. No, he hasn't got a touchdown yet, but those are coming. He was a little off on a couple of plays, and it wasn't by much. I think a lot of people I both watched it live. Me and Keith were right there with those end zone throws too. I mean, we were right there in the end zone watching them. They weren't off by much. It was just, it really wasn't. And then that one play where it almost turned out into an interception that he was throwing towards Humphreys' way. It was a miscommunication, and I think that was on Humphreys. And I think even Ron came out and said Humphreys broke the wrong way. Go ahead, John.
I thought both of Humphreys, his only 2 targets came up away with nothing, and both of them were bad. I think both of them. I just don't see this chemistry that they keep talking about.
Yeah,
look, there's chemicals that you can pour together that'll blow up the whole fucking room. So I don't see what chemistry's supposed to be so good.
Well, I think we're going to see it. That one. You got to remember, Humphreys is learning a whole new offense as well too. And a lot of people are getting on Scott Turner, which I don't really understand.
Because people are stupid. Say it after me. People are stupid.
I think people are like, well, he hasn't done nothing in 2 years. And that's actually false because he wasn't the offensive coordinator in Carolina. He took over play calling for 3 or 4 games at the very end of the season. And then last year, he had the quarterbacks that we had last year. And he could only do so much with them. You can't expect anybody to do anything with Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins. I think our defense is pretty good. I like our depth at cornerback. Okay. Torrey McTyer and Benjamin St. Juice. Really, they started in place of Fuller and William Jackson. I think they played very, very well. You had Jamar Chase here in footsteps out there. Benjamin St. Juice was stuck on him like white on rice. And the defensive line, of course, is the defensive line. They played very, very well again. I am not nearly as worried about the first team offense as a lot of people seem. Of course, you want to see scoring, but It's more about individual play than it is right now than I think as a whole. And Fitzpatrick's going to have, we're not expecting Fitzpatrick to be a top 10 quarterback. If anybody does, you need to get your head checked, because that's just not, it's not the case. We were ranked 32 last year. We're going to be somewhere in the mid-teens, early 20s this year. And I think that's going to be fine. We're going to be okay with that.
Maybe a little better. I'll tell you what, I'm very excited to see a trio of Brown, Samuel, and Terry out on the field.
Yeah,
that's going to be something.
That's going to be fun. It is. I think it's going to be. I know the coaches say that they're not, they're not worried about Curtis Samuel. I want him and Ryan Fitzpatrick to have a couple plays together, in the preseason. I want to see how that dynamic is going to work. Hopefully he gets out there next Saturday. We'll see. But I think some time on the green will do them both some good.
You were talking about the defense. Landon Collins looks like who we paid for.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He laid the fucking lumber on
he did.
Was Thaddeus Moss.
Yeah. He made Jamar Chase pee his pants.
You remember
had to go change his pants.
You remember everybody last year saying that Thaddeus Moss was going to be our savior at tight end.
Dude. Oh, and this year it's Steven Sims. He's going to come back to haunt us. Well, get in line. Josh Doxson is supposed to come back and haunt us first. So, all you fucking pearl clutchers out there. Oh, well, no.
Let's move to the second team real quick, since it seems to be, and we'll dive a little bit more into Taylor Hinickey in a little bit. But did we learn anything about our depth with our second team offense, John?
Yes, I think so. Well, for one, I don't think he'll be second team, but frickin' Jarrett Patterson is a certified preseason badass. And, the thing was, he was finding little tiny cracks and getting through them quickly. And Wes Martin, I thought, what's his name? Keith Ismail, the backup center, Wes Martin, both did a really good job getting blocks out in front for him and opened up a lot of those holes for him. So, yeah, I kind of like what I saw out of them. And our wide receivers, other than right now, I think Cam Sims, who's really on my doghouse, and AGG, who's not quite up to that level yet. But our second and thirds, they're not so freaking shabby. I mean, our second and firsts are kind of interchangeable. Nobody's replacing Terry, obviously. But, you can bring a lot of guys in right there. John Bates didn't disappoint himself, I don't think, and I was damn happy with some of the defense. Torrey McTyer, that dude is he's my hero right now. That could be our Logan Thomas low-key superstar signing of the year this year.
Yeah.
Ron has a way of picking that stuff out. And, man, he flashes in fast. I like that guy.
Yeah, I agree. Keith, what about you, man?
Well, I like the idea of seeing Patterson run in the beginning with the ones.
Yeah.
That told me a little bit. He also got some kick returns in.
He had a good one. He had a real good one.
Yep. So he is definitely showing a lot of value, and a lot of people do believe he is going to make this roster, which I haven't seen any reason why he shouldn't. But, with that being said, we still need to temper those expectations, because we always have preseason beasts.
You're absolutely right about that.
Then, you wait for that beast to show up, during the season, and you're kind of like, what happened? Not saying that's going to happen with Patterson, but the guy looks like he's a gritty back, man, that he's just going to hit and he's going to keep his feet moving. It almost looks old school to me. He's not juking and jiving and all that stuff. I mean, he's literally hitting, keeping the feet moving, and he's trying to gain every possible yard he can. Dude is definitely making every opportunity he can to make this team.
Absolutely. You make a very good point there, Keith, with about tempering our expectations on how much we see him in the upcoming season. Because I think he's got a spot on the 53. I think that's pretty much said and done. And Ron came out earlier, said that they have a role in mind for him. I don't know.
Returner right away.
I would assume so. And he reminded me a little bit of Brian Mitchell out there when he ran off that kick return, how he held the ball and how he just dug his foot in and ran. You know,
Yeah, he picked his blocks well. He's a running back.
Yeah, so I definitely appreciated that. I was hoping to see him catch punts, catch a punt or two, but I don't know if we're going to see that this offseason yet.
I'm loving DeAndre Carter at punt returner.
Yeah, I think that's the plan right now, and I initially thought that they might keep 7 receivers, but I think DeAndre Carter is going to be our 6th and final receiver this year.
He puts his foot in the ground and makes a quick decision and gets it, man. He got one punt return where it looked like, okay, well, that's a short one because this guy hit him almost right away. He ran right into the guy, but he had already gotten 8 yards. The dude accelerates from 0 to freaking 90 in no time flat. So I really like him. I like what Carter did. And he had a 30-yard kickoff return too. So he's really got a lot of value.
Yeah.
I think.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't do a lot of that juking and jiving these kids today. Juking and they're jiving.
That juking and jiving. No, there's a lot of people out there that believe that 7 receivers can make this team.
4 running backs?
They're very well could. But I was one of those. I was one of those people that thought that, you know, a week or so ago. Now you're kind of starting to see the roster take shape. And I think next week we'll probably do a roster projection before they make their final cuts.
Let me ask you this. I mean, if they're, especially on the receivers, I mean, if they're cutting anyone, who are they cutting?
I still think AGG has is on the block. Yes, he helped himself. He did help himself this last game, but he's got to continue to do that. Ron said yesterday, I think JP Finley asked him the question, does draft status have anything to do with who you're cutting or who you're keeping? And he says only in the first year.
Wow. Imagine that. Ron's going to say something like that just so these guys in the last couple of 8 days of camp don't give up on him and say, what
I took out of that is saying, okay, AGG, he had his rookie year. He was drafted last year. This year he could get cut. I'm still not sold. I still think I think now Cam Sims did himself a disservice this preseason.
Yes, his entire career.
And I think the roster spot goes to it could. I could very well be wrong. They're even Steven in I think I don't see why you keep both of them because they're the same. To me, they're the same type of player.
Well, I don't know how that you can, let Kelvin Harmon go and then also let AGG go too. I just don't see it happening
because you have someone just like both of them really in Cam Sims, or you can let Cam Sims go. I think
Cam Sims is your big body wide receiver, which they still want, but you're not getting speed out of that guy. You're not getting much, but I still think that he makes the final roster. I think AGG does too. I mean, I don't see it. I mean, we're talking cutting Kelvin Harmon early. I mean, if that was the case, we should have been talking about cutting AGG early as well because the guy wasn't producing anything either. So there's a reason why he's still on this team.
That's fair to say. They're giving him every opportunity because he was drafted by this regime.
And Kevin Harmon was also hurt. Well, yeah, but AGG they didn't get to see anything out of him. Nothing whatsoever.
Well, they didn't really get to see anything out of Harmon either, and they cut him. They didn't give him a shot.
As far as I'm concerned, AGG and Cam Sims should be on equal footing right now. Cam Sims, for whatever big wide receiver that he is, he trades one good play for a bad play. And I mean, dude, I can't even remember the game it was last year, but we were losing. It might have been a Giants game. He got down loose by around the 5-yard line, was by himself, and the ball went right through his fucking breadbasket. It didn't even touch his stomach. He freaking whiffed on it badly. The Eagles game, ball in hand when we needed a drive, he whiffs on it, he blows it. He fumbles the other night. So, he makes some good plays here and there, and we all love him for, his fourth quarter heroics in the preseason 3 years ago. But I don't see why we should have any kind of a loyalty to him right there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think there's any loyalty to Cam Sims. I mean, he's one of those stories, and he's one of those players that people like to cling on to, but You
But
need
he fucks up.
you need your best. You want the best players on the team. Players that are going to help the team, and it's going to be really interesting. How many do we keep 5, 6, or do we keep 6 or 7 receivers? Do we keep 3 or 4 running backs? Do we keep 3 or 4 tight ends? That right there is the conundrum that Ron and company is going through right now. Are we going to keep 9 or 10 offensive linemen? In years past, we've kept 10 offensive linemen because they kept getting fucking hurt. But now we have the versatility where we don't have to keep 10 offensive linemen. We can keep 9 because a lot of them are versatile. They can play guard and center.
Position
flexibility. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see. Do we have a promo this episode?
We do. We have a brand new sponsor, in fact.
Wow.
We'd like to welcome. Hang on a second. Let me pull this up so I can read my cue card properly. We'd like to welcome our latest sponsor, the White Swallow Raincoat Club, located in the alley just off of our street, left of the dumpster. Tell Guido that the promo code is Bleeding Burgundy, and he'll let you in.
This preseason, Joe Theismann turns up the heat.
Wanted him to come inside a little bit, and Adam just didn't slide enough. He feels it coming. He feels it. I love that.
Joe Theismann gives you the game the way you want it.
It's huge when it comes to learning a new guy's rear end.
You see his length here. Someone will reach around.
How far does he bring it back to you?
Preseason with Joe Theismann.
Keep coming.
Hot.
Keep coming.
Wet.
Keep coming.
Deep.
Allen got on him in a hurry.
Oh, and we're back. All right, guys. I want to talk about I want to give out game balls and goat balls. Keith, I'm going to start with you. Who you give a game ball to?
Game ball to Landon Collins.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely showing his speed.
You're absolutely right, man. He is starting to be fun again to watch. You remember him back in when he was with the Giants. He was all over the field, and that's exactly what we saw on Saturday Friday. I agree with you. He definitely deserves a game ball.
I mean, he's been showing this success all off season, camp, and then now you're seeing it in the preseason games. I mean, the speed just kicked in when he closed that gap and made that tackle. Unbelievable. I mean, and again, a lot of people were focused on that hit and they didn't really pay attention to how quick he closed in.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what you need from him. That's what, he originally got paid to do, so hopefully we see that translate during the season a lot more. To me, it just looks like he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's not angry at anyone.
Oh, you better believe he was listening all while rehabbing. Everybody chirping.
Absolutely, he was. Well, everyone trying to change his positions and so on and so on. He's going to show you how good he is in his position.
I'm guilty of it too. I was interested in him maybe moving to linebacker as well.
Listen, bad plays are going to cause negative reactions.
Sure.
And he gave a lot. He had a lot of missed tackles.
Yes, he did.
So he warranted. It was warranted the things that people were saying about him. One, because when you get paid that kind of money and you're not producing at that level, I mean, you're going to get negative reaction. But I can tell it just feels like this guy is playing with a lot more passion, and almost to the point where he doesn't necessarily need to prove his career. He just wants to prove everyone that he is going to be successful in the role that he's put in. So I hope again that, shout out to him. I hope that he comes in with the same type of intensity during the season.
Yeah, it's amazing just how fast. I know we spoke on this before, but it still baffles me just how fast he's come back from that Achilles tear, and he looks better. He looks leaner, faster, and stronger. And it amazes me how good he looks, and hopefully he keeps it up. John, who are you giving the game ball to? I'm
going with Torrey McTyer. That dude, every time I see his name out there, every time I see his number on the field, he's making a play. And I love that. He he flashes in so damn fast when he's in zone. He covers so quick once he reads where the ball is going. He's knocking these passes down just by his presence being there. When he's in man, he sticks to these guys like he's got flypaper on him, man. We were laughing last week because Joe Theismann said that if he would have gotten his hand on the ball, he would have knocked it out. Freaking way to go, Joe. But the fact of the matter is he gets in close enough to make himself enough of a nuisance to really screw up the receiver's ability to catch the ball. He doesn't get flagged for anything. I think he's really good. And I think I might have said this earlier in the show, but he could be our Logan Thomas this year, man. Our low-key, under the radar signing that turns out to be a gem. Yeah. So McTire gets my game ball.
Now look, even Ronald Darby last year, he was a low-key good signing. He played well for us. So if he can fill that role, that I'd be perfectly content with that. And William Jackson's been slowed with that I guess hamstring injury. So it's good to have those depth pieces, and I agree with you. He played well. My game ball will go to, and we spoke about him, Jarrett Patterson. I think he is a kid, a story that's just unbelievable. Undrafted from the area, grew up loving this team. I think I said this last week or the week before that he had reminded me, whenever I thought of him, Marcus Mason came to mind. Well, that narrative is kind of changing a little bit. And I hope
he's better.
I mean, y'all remember Marcus Mason? He tore up the preseason
hero. Yeah,
exactly. And I think what we're seeing from Patterson is a little bit different. I think he's making the coaches carve out a role for him, and with doing multiple things. I mean, not only is he going out there with the ones, getting time with the ones, but he's out there. He's wanting to learn. He's actually called and got up with B Mitch for them to get together so he can help. So he's doing multiple things to make the coaches see, hey, I'm fucking serious. I want a spot on this team. I don't care what you have me do. And he deserves a game ball for the play alone.
Let me ask you this. Do they keep 4 running backs? Has he supplanted Barber already?
I think they're going to keep 4 running backs. I think they will keep 4 running backs before they keep 7 wide receivers.
I agree. Keith, do you agree? Circle gets the square.
Yeah, it'd be hard to argue that point.
Yeah. I see a lot of people wanting to get rid of Barber. I don't think he's going to get cut. I think Barber's on this team as well. I think that role.
Barber had a poor game.
They only gave him 1 series, right?
I think that he had like 2 carries, and I think they wanted the carries that he would normally get. They gave 2 of them to Antonio Gibson because they wanted to see Antonio Gibson in the short yardage role. And then also you had Patterson out there. They wanted to see him with 1s and 2s to see how he would perform with them as well. So I wouldn't discount, the lack of playing time for Barber as a sign just yet. I think next week is going to show us a lot to see how much both of them play and where and what situations.
I think Patterson's kickoff return said a lot. We'll probably see that Saturday. We'll probably see him at least 2 chances, or hopefully only 1 because they can only have kickoff for a half. But let's get a shutout. That'd be nice. Because you know what? I'm tired of hearing about the Ravens winning 19 goddamn preseason games in the fucking row. Big fucking deal.
All right, let's move on to Goat Nuts. I want to go first this time so y'all MFers don't steal my thunder. I'm giving it to Cam Sims. You got to hold on to the football there, buddy, and your stock has dropped a pretty good amount this offseason in training camp. He just doesn't move the needle for me. And this game should tell a lot of people something. Keith, I'll go with you next.
Yep. Got to give it to Hinickey, in my opinion. You want to be the quarterback of this team, you got to secure the ball. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. Again, a lot of things that I was watching when they were on our side of the field, Jesse, was a guy who was looking to make plays with his feet, but it necessarily wasn't meaning to throw the ball. He was running every time, and we all have seen that Hinickey is good with that. He is good at feeling the pressure and knowing when to bail from the play, but he doesn't, in my opinion, from what I've seen, really make plays throwing the ball down the field with his feet. He just continues to run.
Yeah.
And when you do that, and then in that one play, he was actually running in the middle of the field when the ball came loose, and you got to secure that as a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's just simple as that.
We're going to dive into Hinickey coming up next, but yeah, I know I agree with you too. John, who's your goat nuts go to?
Adam Humphries. I don't see shit out of this guy. I really don't. Only time I ever see him doing anything on the field, he's fucking things up. And he had 2 chances this week to show me, because I matter. Me and my TV, to show me something. And all I saw was miscommunication, discord, and none of the chemistry that we're talking about. And, if we're going to be putting guys like Cam Sims down on the AGG level, I don't see why Adam Humphries should be any more rescued. I don't see where he hasn't distanced himself from anybody. I saw somebody today say, "Oh, he can return punts." So what? We got DeAndre Carter can return punts. Let's see if DeAndre Carter can catch. Can he play wide receiver? Because Humphries just ain't showing it to me. And I know he's going to make the team because he was a free agent signing, and supposedly him and Fitzpatrick have some kind of chemistry. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Maybe they share pinky rings or something. But
Fair enough.
I'm not digging it with him.
No, fair enough. No, I feel that I can understand your point of view on that. I wouldn't go as far as you, but I still think there's something there. We're just not seeing it yet. But you have points that are well made.
One's
that's
right
for
there.
sure.
I'll tell you what. The fact of the matter is my family's had a feud with the Humphries family since probably 1622. And so fuck him. Just the hell with him.
All right, moving on. Let's get to Taylor Hinickey and his overhaul performance, not just in this game, but since he's came into the league. I don't want to talk about the Hinickey Hive because they got on me on Sunday.
You were harsh, man. You were harsh.
I listen. I can't help it. And people think I hate Hinickey, and I don't, man. I love that he's on our team. I really do. I think he's perfect backup, but I see what I see. And it's, to me, it's painfully obvious. I think he is he looks like a college quarterback, and Keith made perfect points. He shut up.
There's one of the Hive right there. The Hive was like, no.
Get him, dude.
Hinickey. Tell him, Duke. Hinickey.
Have it. All right. So look, I see what I see. It is a college quarterback, man. I think he like he said, he runs at the slightest bit of pressure, and he doesn't let the play develop. Me and Adam Aniba had a little back and forth. I mean, it wasn't like we were just just talking.
You don't need to make excuses for it.
He says that he saw innovation and he said something enough, but I think he was white knuckling in panic, and he just doesn't see he wants to run, just like what Keith said. He wants to run with the ball, and when he does, he doesn't protect the ball whatsoever.
Well, he had the one fumble. And I mean, yeah, it's a bad thing, but quarterbacks, they tend to have fumbles more than anybody else because they get hit. But, that was a bad play. But I could finish your point because I am going to wildly disagree with both of you gentlemen.
Okay. I just think
me and Duke are on the same page.
I see what every coach in GM before him have seen is that he's not a starting quarterback.
Well, of course not. No.
And I don't understand why there's so many people that think he's a saver of our franchise, and I just don't see it.
Because our fan base is stupid. Repeat this after me. Our fan base is stupid. And you know what the best part of our fan base being stupid is everybody that's listening to this right now goes, yeah, they sure are. Right. All right. Look, I don't think he's a starter by any stretch of the imagination. But as far as the number 2 job goes right now, I put him ahead of Allen, and I'd put him considerably ahead of Allen. He hit his first 8 passes in a row. So he's not always looking to run. He hit 8 in a row.
Let me ask you, how far down the field were those passes?
It really doesn't make any difference to me how far down the field the passes were, because if he's got to learn to climb the ladder a little bit, then he's got work to do. But that's what a number 2 does. I know you say he likes to run a lot, and I only think he actually scrambled past the line of scrimmage 2 times. I do think that he does tend to take off and run a little early. He probably does miss things that are deeper down the field, but he's gaining 8 to 10 yards each time, which, man, I'll tell you what, if he had to come into a game, that makes the defensive backs, they just can't turn and run with Diami Brown. They can't just turn and beat feet with him, because that guy might be running right up their ass. So it gives us a little extra added dimension. He has a good feel for the pocket, and he knows how to find that open area. What he's got to do when he finds the open area is settle down, find a target. So that's the only fault that I'm really seeing with him right now. Yeah, he could hold the ball a little better when he's scrambling around back there. He got to reach around. I think that's what Joe said.
Keith, your comments on Taylor Hinickey.
I give him a B+.
I know you gave your goat balls to him, and I gave him a B-, and that's not a bad grade. Like I said, I don't hate him, but I just don't. To him. I just don't. I think it frustrates me that half our fan base just wants him to think that he's the franchise, and he's not.
I expect more from a starting quarterback that half this fan base thinks that he is. I expect more with him against the twos. Simple as that.
Sure.
Well, that's what that tells you right there. Who's stupid, and it's the fan base, because he's not a number 1 quarterback by any stretch. I'm talking about him as a number 2, and I'm happy with that.
I know that, and I'm not disagreeing necessarily with your evaluations. I'm disagreeing
with the pinheads.
Yeah, I'm disagreeing with the fan base who thinks that this man should be the starting quarterback for this team, and absolutely not. And again, like I said, if you're the starting quarterback and you're playing against twos, I'm expecting you to light it up. Sure. We didn't really get anything, to be honest. And like I said, all I saw was a lot of running. I mean, now if you want to talk about the biggest crowd pop, sure, Hinickey gets it for sure, man. These people love him. But again, loving and producing is 2 different things. And, I'm sorry, but, I didn't see starting quarterback qualities. But then people could flip that and say, well, no, neither did we with Fitzpatrick. Listen, I'm not even going to argue. I would agree with you, but I'm not going to waste my time to argue it with other people, because again,
the fan base
I'm not so high on Fitzpatrick either. He's a journeyman for a reason. Right? Sure. He's been a journeyman his whole career. So he's going to game manage as best as he can. He's going to make, he's going to throw the ball down the field. He's going to make mistakes. We're going to have good games with him. We're going to have bad games. We're not going to get this elite quarterback that some people put him out there to be. Oh, well, this is the first year that this is the best wide receiver core, that the best offense that he's had his entire career. Listen, no, it doesn't work that way. He's a journeyman for a reason. But, me personally, I'd even argue as to could Hinickey, sit third string? I think so. I mean, listen, what are we looking here for? Are we looking for experience, or are we looking for, what we're getting out of Hinickey? And in my personal opinion, I'd prefer to have Kyle Allen. I don't think Kyle Allen played that horrible last season before his injury.
No, he's all right.
Yeah, the argument can be made. Should Kyle Allen be ahead of Taylor Hinickey?
Kyle Allen definitely did not, shock the world by any means, but I didn't think he played horrible either. Look, he got hurt.
What did you say about a starting quarterback against the twos? He's a former starting quarterback playing against the threes.
He scored.
Kyle Allen's always
he did.
He drove the ball down the field. Ball got down the field.
He was 2 for 4, and then AGG.
Was it Patterson? No, it was AGG. Yeah, AGG. You're right.
Made a nice play. He made a nice play.
I think Brandon Washington Rant said it best. I think 20 years down the road, there's still going to be fans talking about that fucking Tampa Bay game.
And listen, and if you guys don't realize, Hinickey actually had a similar type play in college as well that he was known for.
Sure.
So this is not his first run the ball and make a heroic
He's athletic
type
as hell. He's very, very athletic.
Very athletic. He was definitely making yards with his feet, but again, in my personal opinion, I think that he panics. I don't want to say he panics to where he makes horrible decisions. I just think that once he feels pressure, he's great at getting out of the pressure, but I don't think that he's looking downfield to also throw the ball either. I think that he's looking to continue the play with his feet. And, you know, it is what it is. I mean, most of the time that I've seen, you know, a lot of them are positive yards. And, you know, listen, I don't hate the guy either, but I just find it hard to believe that you go and pick this guy up off Craigslist and, you know, all of a sudden he's your number 2 quarterback. And people are forgetting that Kyle Allen actually had decent games when he came in for Cam Newton.
When Cam Newton got hurt, he won like 4 in a row.
Yeah.
And look, he played decent. Listen, the fact of the matter,
okay for us last year.
And these are facts. I'm not making this shit up. Okay. We had such bad quarterback play last year that when Hinickey came in, we saw some average quarterback play, or even.
Well, he did throw dimes. I'm not going to take that.
He had a good game.
I'm not going to take. I know, and I'm not going to take that away from him.
I think
he did throw some dimes in that game.
Are gravitating towards a semblance of a decent quarterback. Okay, and they take that small sample size, which no coach had time to game plan or had their best players on the field. So let's not forget that. And expect that to turn into to bloom into something that it's just not there. You know?
People saw success in that Tampa game.
Exactly.
People saw success in that Tampa game, and that's what they want to have continue. They think that we're going to have that continued success, and I just don't see it.
This is his fault. It's all his fault. All right. Because for 20 goddamn years, for 20 fucking years, I've been screwing up this goddamn team. And these people have had nothing to cheer about.
You're not wrong.
So anybody that flashes, they glom onto him and they lock onto him and they're like, oh,
it's the same thing with Steven Sims. Same thing with Cam Sims. A flash of something, they gravitate toward and they don't want to let go, even when the obvious is there. Right.
That'll be $75 for parking, please. That'll be $75 fucking dollars to park your car, please.
All right. Look, I'm glad Heinecke's on our team, but
I think he's a fine number 2 option right now. Right now, I think the problem with Allen is it's taking too long to come back from injury. So even though both of them have the reputation of being injury prone, it's all about availability. And right now, Allen just hasn't been. I like Allen. You know, I got nothing against him. Pardon me.
He was available last game and we scored.
Well, what I'm saying about Hinickey is I'm not seeing all the negatives that are so bad. Right now, I'm not seeing it. I mean, there are things that he needs to work on, but he's a number 2. So that's all I'm. But if you're number 2,
if you're one's playing against 2s, I expect more on the field.
I will say this. I will pick Fitzpatrick to start over Hinickey 10 out of 10 times.
Sure.
Right. But you're a logical fan, John. Of course he's not a 1. There's people think that there's people that they're even the check marks. It's not even just Washington.
You know what it is?
Twitter.
It's fucking media. It's
the
media pushing their narrative so they have stuff to talk about.
There's multiple teams that he could start on. You're wrong.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
For 20 years of misery, now you don't even know what a goddamn decent football player looks like. You're welcome.
Moving on real quick. I think people need to relax on Fitzpatrick. Okay.
Yep. I do.
Yeah.
I think he played well.
He did not play bad. Just relax. He had a couple overthrows, and listen, it wasn't like they were fucking 30 feet overhead.
Throw incomplete passes. People, oh no, the ball touched the ground. We're never going to win a game.
Chill out on us not scoring. You know, I think we just need to relax. It's going to get there.
Welcome.
Got a question for you guys.
Number 1 emotion.
Do we have concerns with our offensive line? And this is a serious question. Are we concerned?
Run blocking, no. Pass blocking, you know, it's hard to tell. The Bengals were a terrible pass rushing team last year. So they probably are coming out this preseason and trying to establish a little more. They spent money on their defensive line, so maybe they're trying to come a little harder than, for a preseason game. So it's kind of hard to tell. But the pass protection, it could use some work. A couple of times I thought Fitzpatrick, when he got himself in trouble, could have thrown the ball earlier. That's the one thing that drives me crazy. Throw the damn ball. Don't just sit there and hold on to it.
Keith, what about you? You think we have any concerns with our offensive line?
Not yet. When you throw 96 yards in the first quarter, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I agree too.
One of the plays that the protection broke down, he got away from it and rolled out and threw it to Brown. He threw it to a protected spot and Brown dropped it and almost popped it up for an interception. So that could have been just as easily a completion as it was an incompletion. That was not a bad play.
I mean, let's state the obvious here. You're not always going to be on point, and they're not always going to catch the ball. That's just part of the game.
Right.
So if you finish the first quarter with 96 yards, I think we're okay.
Yeah. I definitely don't have some concerns like other people do of us moving the ball or even the scoring. I'm not as preseason guys. We just need to chill out on that. We're not showing our cards. I don't have any issues with Scott Turner. That's another topic that's been going around about Scott Turner and his play calling. Again, it's fucking preseason. God, it's fucking preseason.
I know, but there's a flip side to that too. I don't disagree with what you're saying. All I'm saying though is that preseasons are like major practices, basically, right?
They're live action practice, yeah.
Sure. Live action practice. You want to see your guys get in the end zone. You want to see you finish off. I mean, absolutely, we're not showing plays and giving away certain things, but
well, it's not even
the chances were there. And listen, you're right. The chances were, we would love to score. The chances were there. We could, Logan Thomas, if that pass was a little bit more on point, that would have been a score. Same thing with that Humphreys, and we were right there in the corner of the end zone when we saw that overthrow. It was close. Okay.
I'm not saying you jump a ledge because we didn't score.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it would be nice to see you finish a drive.
Sure.
Scoring.
It'd be nice for Saturday at 6:37 p.m. us finish the first drive as a touchdown, then get all the ones off the field and let all the roster bubbles and people get some tape out there and finish it up that way to get ready for the season.
If you're jumping off the ledge, don't do it at the stadium. I don't have the insurance right now. I'm not paying for your stupid ass.
Do we have any overreactions this week?
I didn't even notice. I was so busy watching the game, I didn't even see overreactions. And I know there was plenty of, there's overreactions like crazy because Steven Sims is going to come back to haunt us. Steven Sims, we're going to regret that. Shut up.
Keith, you got any overreactions?
The people that are overreacting about Fitzpatrick too.
Yeah, that's mine.
That's really what I saw.
Yeah.
I saw Fitzpatrick overreactions.
The Hive, of course.
Yeah, the whole Hinickey and Fitzpatrick, and I think we're going to see that all year long.
He won't even say his name right.
Hinickey.
That goddamn Hinickey.
The Hinickey.
Goddamn boy named Taylor.
I almost want to love Hinickey.
Yeah,
I almost want to love Heineke just because Jesse doesn't.
I don't mind him. I think he's all right.
I don't mind him either. I'm just he's not a fucking
no. I know what you're doing though. You're looking for an argument on Twitter because you know you're going to get it.
Let me tell you something.
I do that.
Well played, sir. It's how I built my Twitter.
We was on Twitter conversating about Hinickey.
I had one guy said that
I was all over me.
He said conversate.
He said I was alienating my fans, and I wasn't going to have any followers if I kept doing that anymore.
Whatever.
Yeah, take it from me. Nice try. You don't alienate anyone.
Yeah.
If anything, people love stupidity. So keep spewing it because it's fun.
I motion that we make Tim Lawler the first fucking president of our fan club. I think that's who's going to be the honorary president of the fan club.
I second that. And
welcome, Tim. Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Game ball goes out to Tim Lawler.
That was my fault. Stop it. That was me. Keith, you got a Keith's Corner?
Yeah. I guess I can take my Keith's Corner and talk about how being a new parent with a kid playing football.
He made a big hit this weekend, you tweeted.
He did. I was actually super surprised. So there's a lot of things that I'm learning. in this process. And I guess it's the same thing that I got to teach myself, when I was coaching my kid in basketball. You see the biggest kid out there, the tallest kid, you think that they should be dominating and be super successful, but you forget that they're 10 years old, and you forget that they're learning the game. I'm apparently thinking that my kid is equivalent to Chase Young out there when he's playing defensive ends, when they put him out there. And obviously that's not the case. So, I shot out a pretty bad attitude, but it's a learning experience from a parent. At the end of the day, I get it. It's rec football. My kid is 10. I just need to let him learn, and I'm seeing that he is learning. Like any parent, you want to see your kid play the entire time or as much as possible. And I didn't get that, but I also got to understand too, as a parent, that's not always going to happen. This is his first year playing football. Let him learn, take things in. I think I just freaked out because, he knows that he only got 17 snaps. And when you're out there 4 or 5 hours doing these different scrimmages, I don't know if that can necessarily be fun. I personally didn't think that would be fun for him. However, afterwards, I said to him, "So what'd you think?" And I was like, "Did you have fun?" And he's like, "Yeah, I had a great time." So his perspective is different than mine. And, so for that kind of taught me, all right, dude, you need to chill, this isn't the NFL, buddy.
He's going to turn into one of them parents that play my fucking kid. No, I'm just kidding.
Football parents can be the worst.
I coach
sports parents.
I coach my son's baseball team, travel ball team, all year round for about 6 years. Man, there's some parents out there that if you don't play their kids, they are freaking
mine is I wanted him out there for the experience. And what I've noticed, they aren't necessarily, they're teaching him many different positions. So I might see him in one series, be defensive end, or I might see him be left guard, or right guard, or I might see him, I haven't seen him play any type of linebacker role yet. And I'm going to assume it's because they have to keep him on the line because of his weight, his size and the safety of the kids. So listen, I totally get all that. I mean, if they were to put him in a tight end role or a wide receiver role, he would dominate just because of his height. It doesn't mean that he'd be fast and, so on. It's just because he is naturally bigger than those other kids. And
you thought about maybe going up an age group?
So
let him learn.
Yeah, I'm more of let him learn. Again, I need to temper my expectations.
Dude, I read your tweets. I didn't think that there was anything out of order with him. I could tell that you probably weren't the happiest guy in the world sitting out there in the heat. But other than that, it was, I didn't get too much of a bad vibe from it.
It wasn't unreasonable. You weren't unreasonable.
No, I don't think it was unreasonable because I think
you weren't being a dick or anything.
No, I think people understood that I was just, wanting what's best for my kid, but also what I want, what's best, and what the coaches want for my kid, might be two different things, and not necessarily meaning the coaches, don't want him to be successful. But, we're kind of in a weird situation here where you got an abnormally large child who can't play these other positions that they know that he would be good at, or decent at, or better at because of his height. So therefore he's got to play these other positions. And, truthfully, like I said, for me, the only reason why I'm talking about this now is because I did put it out there in the public, and I have been tweeting about my kid lately because I'm super proud of, what he's,
I dig it.
What good. He's accomplished, but also at the same time, I can't be that parent. And I became that parent. I was actually that Saturday. I was nasty. I was nasty to everyone. I was mad at everyone because I sat out there for 4 hours sweating. I didn't see him. I mean, he literally got maybe 3 to 4 snaps per team that they were scrimmaging against. And I'm like, how is he going to learn anything if that's the only playing time that he got? Well, today I found out that because there's so many kids on the team that they're actually going to do a varsity and JV. And so he's going to be on the JV squad, which I'm totally fine with, of course, because he's got to learn, man. These kids on this varsity team that they call it, they've been playing for 3-4 years now, so these kids are definitely well up to par to what's going on. And my kid's just learning. But the thing that I love is not only is he learning, but he's enjoying practice. He loves it. And so, I do kind of wish I would have gotten him into this a little earlier, but then again, to be honest with you, maybe not. At first I really I wasn't interested in him playing football at all. It was more basketball because when it comes to playing sports, I love playing basketball. Like, what people don't know about me is I am actually a basketball guy. I just don't tweet about it. But when it comes to, football, of course, like everyone else, I love watching it. Didn't play it growing up. So, again, I can't speak the language that you see all these other people speak, when they're on Twitter. I only go based upon what I see, and my takes might be cool. They might be ignorant. I don't know. But, I've learned a lot, from a lot of people that I've been reading. But, again, like at the end of the day, like I said, the only reason why I mentioned Keith's Corner is because I am super excited about my kid. And to be honest with you, I actually prefer to tweet more about that than anything else these days. I haven't really seen any type of excitement for me to tweet anything else about. So
as long as they're not teaching them to juke or jive. none of that. No.
Listen, I just, anybody that takes anything from me, just, learn from me. Parents are going to make mistakes, but the last thing I want to be is that overbearing parent that thinks their kid is dominant in everything they do just because they're tall. And that's not the case. I just love that he's big. I love that he's wanting to learn this game. And if he wants to continue on with it, I'm going to support him 100%. But as a parent, I need to learn to be a fan and not a coach. And somebody tweeted me and said, there's all types of roles in this whole process. You need to choose which role you are. Well, I know that I'm not going to be the coach, right? And
you can't play. You're too
right.
big.
Absolutely. So therefore, if I did, I'd be crushing all them kids. Like,
fucking kick their ass. Like, damn right.
Please. Chase Young ain't got shit on me but anyways.
When you're playing 10-year-olds, fuck yeah.
I'd destroy those kids. But anyways, yeah. So to, finish what I'm saying is just, learning to be that parent to be a fan. And so when I saw that tweet, that really hit home to me. Like, yeah, just be a fan, listen. He's not going to
enjoy the process of it, man.
Exactly.
Enjoy the process of it. Yeah, exactly. my son's last year, I stepped away from the coaching realm of it, and because I just got to enjoy my son play, and then once he got into high school, he said, Dad, I just don't feel like playing no more, because he played on the JV team when he was in 8th grade, and I thought he might go get a scholarship later on, but I enjoyed the process of it, and one thing that I see that parents do is when they see their kids got talent, they take the fun out of it for the kids. And that's like the biggest no you could ever do. I always like, if you don't want to play no more, don't. I'm not going to force you to play. You got some of these kids that are good that hate it, that hate fucking
I'll tell you
playing
what, Keith. What I would suggest is don't leave out the possibility to turn into that parent that throws your water bottle at the coach and calls him a fucking moron. I mean, maybe he is.
Hey, listen, that one play that you were talking about, though, he was playing defensive tackle. And they're being taught, keep your eye on the ball. So that's what he was doing. So he went for the block. He saw that the play was running to the left. And so he pulled from the block, and then he did a Landon Collins, man, closed in that gap and made his first tackle. And
nice.
That to me was really super cool to see. So he's understanding positions now. He's understanding a lot more, obviously, than he did 4 weeks ago. And it's just really exciting to see that learning process. I think for me, like I said, as a parent, I just got to shut up. Just shut up and let my kid have fun.
I have learned from you. I have learned that Keith loves basketball, watching football, quiet dinners at home with that special someone.
Is that our next promo?
We might as well take care of our sponsor again here. Don't forget to go down to the White Swallow Raincoat Club, located just in the alley off of our street, left of the dumpster. Tell Guido the promo code Bleeding Burgundy, and you will be gained admittance.
All right.
All your fantasies will come true.
I think that's going to do it for us, boys, unless you have anything else. I think we went a whole podcast without fucking talking shit about John Bostic or Dustin Hopkins, which
there was nothing to talk about from John Bostic. He made
good.
One play that he hit the guy and the guy fell over. And I thought, hey, that was a tackle. It's pretty fucking good.
So that's a plus. That's a plus. Yeah. So we're moving to
and jiving out there.
2 shows a week from now on. We're going to do a game preview and a
post game.
post and a preview Mondays and Fridays now. We're going to try to keep them a little bit shorter, so maybe y'all can get through a whole podcast without turning it off after the first 15, 20 minutes. But yeah,
they can't do that. Keith is always at the end. Who knows what he's going to say next?
That's true. That's true. You can catch us out on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell. Also on Google, Apple Pods, and everywhere else there is every platform there's a podcast. What's up, Joe? You got one more thing?
One more thing. Do not forget, go to hogfarmerscharity.org, click the button, make sure you donate at $20. Get in on these raffles. They do great work. Just hogfarmerscharity.org. Go do it.
Do it now. You can catch me at Jesse's24, JESSYS24. You can catch John at Bang Radio Hour, Keith at KG Skins 26. And we'll see you on Friday. Hail.
Love you, Tim Lawler. I love
the tune.
Keep coming.